Hi everyone, today I'm going to be walking you through my initially live webinar on how dentists can be productive on social media and get ahead during these uncertain times. So first of all, for those of you who do not know me, I'm the founder of NP Marketing, which is an agency that's based out of Canada. It's an online dental marketing agency, and I founded it about 5 years ago. We do everything that has to do with online marketing for dental practice, from social media marketing, dental website designs, paid campaigns, creative services, as well as strategy. We founded a YouTube channel not too long ago called Digital Dental Marketing Made Easy. And the objective of our YouTube channel is to provide dentists with really good tips, recommendations, tutorials, how-to steps, so that you could grow your dental practice using smart online marketing strategies and tactics. So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's get started with the agenda for today's webinar. We're going to be going over 4 different things. What to do right now to help us navigate these unknown waters that we've been faced with. Second, I'm going to be providing you some messaging examples for social media that you could be applying today within your dental practice. Third, I'm going to be providing you some ideas or concepts on things that I think you might want to start thinking about how to plan ahead for post-COVID-19, so for when operations reactivate within your dental practice. And finally, I'm going to be going over a couple of cues that I already received earlier today. If you haven't already done so, if you haven't already started social media for your practice, we actually have a complete guide to digital marketing for dental practices. You could download it by using the link here. It's bit.ly/dental with a capital D, social with a capital S. You have all sorts of tricks and steps on there if you haven't already started your social media presence or if you're at the beginning phases. So what happened is we were hit with COVID-19. I think it was something completely unprecedented. I don't think any of us planned for the gravity of things, but it occurred. It occurred a couple of weeks ago. Majority of dental practices across North America have been closed or have been mandated to only see emergency patients. So what do we do now? What do you do in terms of marketing? You have 2 options right now for marketing. Option 1 is to go silent on social media, and option 2 is to continue to be present on social media. So let's take a look at some stats to try and make an informed decision. Stat number 1 is from Social Bakers, and starting in early March, people started reacting with a lot more love reactions to any kind of coronavirus content being shared. So around March 15 or so. And the reason for that, or the majority of the reason for that, is that brands started sharing their messages of support or details of what they were going to support, how they were going to support their communities and their employees that were all going through the same sort of situation. The second stat that I have for you is the following. Facebook and Instagram have seen a 40% increase in usage due to COVID-19, with views for Instagram Live and Facebook Live doubling in just 1 week. And I'm sure if you think about your own behavior on social media, you've probably increased time that you spend on social media just to get information, get news, see what's happening out there. So for all those reasons, right now is when you most need to be present for your patients and you and the community, using the medium that they're already using on a daily basis, which is social media. However, I don't think that you should be running your business as business as usual. Right now, yes, you need to be on social media, but you need to reevaluate the content that you are sharing on social media and pivot the messaging, but don't go completely silent. Okay, so reevaluate the content. I'm going to be going over some examples, but it's not business as usual, and you don't want to come across as tone deaf as to the current situation. So this is my message to you. Continue sharing content that is meaningful, valuable, and sensitive to the current situation. You are, at the end of the day, a healthcare professional, and as such, you are regarded as a trusted source of credible information. So right now is a time to be there for your community and your patients. So here are some first reaction steps if you haven't already done so. So 2 weeks ago, more or less, 3 weeks ago, let's say, when COVID-19 was pronounced as a pandemic, and a lot of the dental practices across North America had to either close or reduce hours. One of the first things that you should have done was update your website with a COVID-19 message pop-up or any kind of message on your homepage, telling your patients that you were indeed closed or only taking emergency patients and the steps that they would have to take in order to contact you for any kind of dental emergency. At the same time, you could invite them to follow you on Facebook and on Instagram to keep them updated on the latest on coronavirus or on your practice. The second thing you should have done already is update your Google My Business. And as you can see on the right-hand side over here, Google My Business is actually asking you if you have been affected by COVID-19 and you need to update anything on your Google My Business page. So the things that you should update are, for example, if you are closed, if you're temporarily closed, you could put that up on your Google My Business page, and or if your hours have been reduced, so you want to change your schedule. So what to post on social media right now? Because the message I'm trying to convey is don't stay silent right now. This is when patients are actively looking to see what's going on social media, and they want to hear from you right now. So here I've created some rules of posting. Number one is to acknowledge the situation. Don't continue business as usual, as I said before. This is not the time to promote elective treatments. You need to be empathetic and be human, which I think all dentists are great at doing this part. A lot of people have been affected in different ways, and we need to be sensitive to that. Also, provide information that is valuable to your patients, and we're going to be seeing a couple of examples of that. So, for example, some FAQs for specialists, or what a dental emergency is, some facts around COVID-19, or even how we could avoid the spread of the disease. And finally, sending some positive messages to the community. Those are going to be important as well during this time. So let's take a look at some of the examples that we've put together for you. Also, just before I move on, you want to make sure that anything that you are sharing is error-free. So any kind of source that you're using, you want to make sure that it's a credible and authoritative source. So for example, this is a post that we've created for an orthodontist. And so what we did is that we took a couple of questions that patients might have right now when they can't see their orthodontist, but they don't have a dental emergency per se. So they want to know what they should be doing right now, right? So for example, this one, I no longer have new Invisalign trays. What do I do? So we answered all of those questions that we thought a patient right now might be thinking about, and they might be actually seeking for this information online. Secondly, you want to be leading by example. So showing your patients and community that your entire team is staying at home and you're being able to cope, and you are having your weekly meetings, as well as keeping top of mind for your patients. So this is a great way to actually show that you're being able to do that right now. The next two examples are around what we can all do to really flatten the curve. And so we like to give some tips around that, as well as, for example, what is a dental emergency? People might not know what a dental emergency is. And so we actually list them out for patients, just in case they do need to reach out to a dentist or a specialist. Finally, use your Instagram stories to interact with followers. So on a lighter note, you might want to ask what they're doing in terms of fitness. How are they coping with homeschooling? We all know that we have our kids at home and we're having to, become teachers to our kids pretty much. So use Instagram stories to ask questions to your patients, to your community. It might be a great way to just feel like, not everything is around COVID-19, but it is around maybe what are you doing at home? What are you doing in terms of Are you running? Are you doing any fitness? Are you watching any kind of programs? What are you cooking right now? Share a recipe, etc. So those lighter, kind of more positive posts are great, and you could use questions on Instagram stories to do that. And video is your friend. If you could find a way to create a short video from home, that would be amazing. It could be anything under even a minute. Just a message of positivity to your patients would go a long way. Some video ideas, for example, are, again, what are considered dental emergencies? What is the process for your current patients to contact you in case of an emergency? And a really big one would be prepare for when you are ready to open up your clinic again and create a video. And bonus points if you do a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live when you're about to open up your clinic again. This is going to be very successful for you if you're able to apply this. But hear me out. This is the last message I have for you. Don't just keep it online. Build your relationships. Reach out to your patients. I have a tip for you, which is create a list of your elderly patients. Reach out to them over the phone. Ask them about their overall health and oral health, and respond to any questions they may have on dental emergencies. Let them know that your practice is there for them. They might also be midway a dental treatment. So you might want to answer questions that they may have about their treatment right now. They will remember you when all of this is done. Now, I'm going to introduce some concepts for you to start planning ahead and things for you to consider. Not all of these are going to be applicable to your own dental practice, but I want you to think about these things before operations reactivate. So I want you to be thinking a bit more creatively. We're all in this hot mess right now, which we don't have much control over. However, we can control how we react to things. Use this time to think about opportunities for your dental practice. Are there processes you want to revisit within your practice? Craft, if you can right now, if you do have the time, a complete marketing strategy to implement once the clinic reopens after COVID-19. Do an audit right now of your current digital marketing tactics. Social media and all of your online presence is going to become a big deal after this. So first concept is the following: virtual patient consultations. I think that a lot of patients are going to be hesitant to go and see their dentist, at least at the beginning, as soon as you open up your clinics. So you might want to think about introducing virtual patient consultations, at least for new patients, and also for some of your previous patients that maybe you could just do a first initial consult with them or a follow-up consultation with them as well. There's a number of systems out there. One that I like a lot is Virtual Smile Consult by Dr. Brian Harris. But nowadays also Invisalign is offering to their providers a free virtual patient consultation landing page that I believe you could add your branding to and you could set up within your website. So that's something else that you could look at. What I do like about virtual patient consultations is that it's a great way to have a pipeline of patients, especially for new patients. And you actually get to qualify patients because if you provide them information about the price ranges, and if they decide to come and see you in person, essentially they are further along the lines in terms of accepting treatment because they now are more informed as to the kind of treatment that you might be talking about, as well as some price ranges. It doesn't apply to every single dental procedure, but definitely to some of the more cosmetic procedures. The second concept I have is the introduction of financing payment plans. A lot of orthodontists already do this on a monthly basis. They're charging their patients for the treatment plan. But some dental practices in general might not have had this in the past, so it might be a moment to be introducing financing payment plans, maybe only for those higher ticket items. But it's a good thing to have now that people are going to be a bit more wary as to where they spend their money. And if you already had financing payment plans, maybe it's the time to think about the kind of messaging that you want to put forward using social media, announcing that you have all of these established financing payment plans to provide some flexibility to your patients. The third concept is eventually, once things reactivate, to restart the right kind of social paid campaigns. What I mean with this is that you're going to have to become a bit more strategic in terms of the kind of paid campaigns that you are launching on a monthly basis. No longer, I believe, can you simply sponsor a post or boost a post on Facebook and wait and see what happens. You have to be much more strategic in starting off with brand awareness and then moving on to retargeting of current patients and then moving on to maybe a video or anything else, but pretty much moving your audience within a funnel from a colder audience to a warmer audience to someone who converts as a patient. So having a strategic plan for paid campaigns. I also think that lead generation campaigns are going to have its time and place as soon as your operations reactivate. So these are campaigns that you would generate leads of patients. And the way that we like to do it is we like to ask patients a number of different questions to see if they are proper candidates for specific treatments. So the value that those lead generation campaigns have, the ones that have a quiz, is that you have pretty much pre-qualified some patients to see if they could be a good candidate for a specific treatment. So some of the takeaways for this webinar are the following. It's never been more important to have an online presence as right now, and I think you've been able to see that. And it will only continue increasing. If you haven't started a social media presence, get started. Those practices that have already been developing an online presence are going to get ahead of this. This is also the right time to bring in some positive change into your practice, and you could start thinking about what you can realistically implement once operations start again. Thank you so much for listening to me. Because this is not a live webinar, I'm going to answer a couple of questions that were sent to us earlier today. And those questions are the following ones. Should I stop my Facebook ads right now? My answer to that is yes, you should stop your Facebook ads. This is not the right moment to be promoting elective treatments. That all falls within being sensitive to the current situation. So stop all paid campaigns. Make sure that you think about a plan for when you do open up your clinic so that you can reactivate all of your campaigns at that point in time. The second question that we got in today that I thought I would repeat was, should I lower the frequency of my social media posting right now? Or should I, what should I change? My answer to that is yes, you should lower the frequency. It also depends what was your frequency before. So if you were posting 3 to 4 times a week, maybe you want to lower it to 1 to 2 times a week. And if you could introduce or interject video in there, that's going to be amazing for your practice. So yes, lower it to maybe 1 or 2 times a week, and think about what kind of valuable content you're going to be sharing with your patients right now. And a third question that we had earlier today was actually, those were the 2 questions that we wanted to really address. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to us by direct message, either on YouTube or on Instagram or on Facebook, and we will make sure to respond back to you. Thank you so much for listening to this webinar. And I hope to see you very soon. Bye. Take care now.